Welcome to the DiDi and Lital Show. Advice, thoughts, and stories from a married couple on cybersecurity, technology, and life in general. Now here are your hosts, DiDi and Lital.
Hello and welcome to the DiDi and Lital Show. It's another week and it's summertime.
Yep.
What's up, DiDi?
First, I think Lital wants to rush the reason I do the show, which is the fucking sports update.
DD Sports Report.
There's the World Cup.
Let's go.
There's this Red Sox sucking.
Oh my God.
Let's start with the easy one because picking on the Red Sox right now is like kicking the kid that comes with a hockey helmet to school. Let's face it. I think they're going to be less than 60 wins season.
Maybe.
They suck. They
Yeah.
suck like big time suck.
They just find ways to lose. It's depressing.
Yes. So
Agree.
Red Sox definitely suck.
Forget it.
Second, Jaylen Brown trade. The fact that Giannis Antetokounmpo ended up with the Heat first shows that the Maura Healey, the person I hate the most in my life, is gonna fuck our sports team.
The taxes in Florida? Is that what you're saying?
That's the reason.
Oh, is that it?
No, the left-wing stupid news doesn't want to tell you this because Felger and Maz are on NBC Sports. They don't want to tell you this. Felger kind of hinted at this in like the sideline because he is a sane 50-year-old somebody that wanted to say, guys, you fuckers, the tax thing. It's the tax thing.
Yeah.
Eventually, just so for people to understand, if you get the millionaire tax, it means that somebody like Jaylen Brown pays an additional $5 million a year of tax compared to Florida. It's not marginal. It's not
And
trivial.
Florida's zero, right?
Florida
no
is
income
zero.
tax.
No income tax.
Yeah.
And the millionaire tax means that wide receivers, it means that everybody that gets like big salaries, but that's part of the hangout that our cornerback has. He wants to get paid more here because of the fucking taxes. So let's get our heads out of our asses and vote her out of office before the taxes kill our sports teams. Because this is like...
You're thinking that will help and change the
That's the only
worldview of the Libertards.
Look,
I'm just saying.
I'm saying that I'm saying that at least 50%. I'm telling you that 50% of the state want the Bruins to win, want at least the Celtics to win, want Drake May to actually have receivers that can catch a fucking ball. So,
I mean, it could be happening in
the richest.
it could be happening in the business world too. I mean, I don't like
It does.
It is.
It does.
It is
but
happening.
everybody wants to tax the rich.
Look,
let's
no,
move on from politics.
But this is important because it comes back to the thing that impacted hockey. So hockey, my favorite sports, as everybody knows, 3 big names wanted to be traded this season. All 3 of them said Vegas, no taxes. Florida, no taxes. Texas, no taxes. Minnesota, but still no taxes.
Well, the fact that you're saying it's not insignificant is the most important part. If it were just like a 5% haircut or something like that, then maybe other things. You would hope that other factors would be in play, like who they want to play with, where they want to raise their family, and all that.
Yep.
But you're right; it's a devastating difference.
It's a devastating difference, and it's showing. Look, so this is where with hockey it's a little bit masked because if you come like Leon Draisaitl gets shanked and shafted by Germany, so it doesn't matter how much the Canadians fuck him over, the Germans fuck him over a little bit more. If you're a Russian player, no sane Russian player or Czech player will want to play in a place that has all these taxes. No American player that pays taxes here wants to deal with this shit. So it means that Canadians who are fucked at home, they'll stay there. Euros that get fucked at home will stay, don't care. But if you're an American or Eastern Bloc country, you will care about this a lot. It is already showing with the wide receivers. It's already showing with anybody that has a risk that this payday is the last payday. They're not gonna take risks on us.
Although Giannis was traded, which but you're saying
he had a lot of
say, as all the NBA stars do.
He had the say. He made the pick. It's coming out that he preferred Miami over us.
Yeesh.
Exactly.
Oh, well.
Want to
And
move to
soccer.
Soccer.
Yes.
I have something to say.
Yes.
For
Yes.
Lital's sports report. Here it
Yes.
is.
Oh, downtown Boston was so much fun the last 2 weeks before the Scottish moved out of here. Oh my God. So Leah had her karate belt. She got brown belt now. So congrats, Leah. But
Okay.
I spent 2 hours waiting for her to finish her belt test. And I was in downtown Boston for that. And it was before the Haiti Scotland
Yes.
game. I think it was the first game
First one,
here in Gillette Stadium. Oh my God. So many Scottish people just taking over downtown and North End, and all of them standing. It was crazy. It was 1 p.m. I think the game was not at 9 p.m. So they were just warming up. Everybody was already extremely drunk. It was clear. And all the news about the downtown pubs running out of alcohol, because they modeled the amount of alcohol they needed to have per day on St. Patrick's.
Right.
And with all due respect to St. Patrick's, it's like 50%, female students from BUBC. So the capacity is kind of like nothing like those men in skirts. Oh my God.
Kilts.
In kilts.
In kilts.
That was awesome. That was so fun. Never seen downtown so fun. Like they made Boston the best place for 2 weeks. I don't know. Now we got the Brits. What is it?
Yep.
I don't think it's compared, but
No, the Scots.
the Scots were
So
awesome.
the Scots actually triggered two things that I want to talk about that are really interesting in our sideline conversation. One of my favorite topics is modeling. The fact that this model
They
was
modeled on St. Patrick's.
on St. Patrick's Day. This is actually
I mean,
really
that's
interesting.
the best model they had.
Well, that's wrong.
I mean, what
That-
would they compare it to?
So there's this amazing technology. I don't know if you've heard about this. It's called the telephone. Half the pub owners in downtown Boston are called O'Neill, O'Rourke, Mac something.
So you wanted them to call
Their
the
cousin
cousins.
in Ireland and say, how much do people drink here on a Sunday? If they would have done this, they would have
So you're
learned.
saying Irish and Scottish are the same?
No.
Like that was
Oh.
not so. Like why?
There are
what are
similarities.
you?
But
So that's it. They did
No,
model it on an Irish celebration.
But they didn't call
which-
their cousin. If they would have called their cousin across the pond,
Maybe.
they would have gotten the real answer of how much people consume on a.
Can
on a
they call somebody in Scotland instead?
They could. Well, then they wouldn't understand what they're saying. You just need to listen to the soundtrack of Trainspotting. You'll understand that. You pick up a phone to
That was
Edinburgh, and all you hear is like rum, 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 rum. Fact.
They were so universally loved by Boston, and it was so mutual. It was so nice.
That was
Yes,
so
it was.
nice.
Where
They
in-
love the food. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they're fascinated by
Ranch sauce.
Chowder.
Yeah, ranch, exactly.
Chowder.
Bring back some ranch. Yeah.
So it's enough that somebody put a sign that you can't put ranch sauce in your carry-on luggage. For the TSA.
Wow.
So the only thing that probably tops it, all the Instagram videos that you probably have missed of Japanese people in Texas eating barbecue. Oh my God. They fell in love with Texas. Like the Japanese people walking into Costco's, like reporting from the Costco and then going and buying barbecues in Texas. That is, they fell in love.
So-
That's a love story.
By the way, if you want to talk
that's
about
so funny.
interesting thing about globalization, Wagyu A5 in Costco is cheaper than it is in Japan. It's like, remember our Jaffa oranges were cheaper.
They're
in-
no longer from
I know,
Jaffa.
but
They're
they-
from Spain.
I know, but they were cheaper in Europe for a very long time than they were in Israel because we built them in a way to export them. So Wagyu beef cheaper in Costco than in Japan.
Okay.
And
So the Japanese love
Yes.
us. In general, it seems like there is a love story. The world kind of get to know America.
And don't forget, people kind of already wrote Ronaldo down. And by the way, he is if we're talking about good-looking men, while there are a couple of very ugly players in football, until real football starts, this is football for a while.
Right.
Ronaldo, Beckham, these guys are so good looking. When we were in Portugal, there was like basically statues of him everywhere, like real life statues of him. He's a very good looking man, and the fact that he's back scoring goals, that's good. Messi broke the record.
World Cup record. Yeah.
Mbappé is just 2 goals behind him and is like 20 years younger, so I don't think this record will hold. But it is fun. It is fun.
So we just started.
Yes,
with
and by the way,
World
I
Cup.
think yes, and by the way, I have a trade destination for Connor Hollebuck,
Oh yeah.
the U.S. men's team. Our goalie sucks. Stick Connor Hollebuck there. Trust me, he'll do a good job. You need a 6 foot something guy that can jump.
Yeah.
Hollebuck is really good. He already won us a medal.
I wonder if he's ever played soccer. Yeah.
I'm willing to bet real money that
maybe.
he'll do a good job.
The Scots could have returned to Foxborough had they made the knockout round, but they lost. They got crushed by Brazil.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's amazing how they came here, they won one game by a score of 1-0. That was the only goal they scored the whole time.
Yes, because they got crushed by Morocco
Yeah.
and by Brazil.
And yet they had the best time.
Yes.
I mean, so it's a good lesson, you know.
Oh, you remember that there was Bruce Arians in Tampa? Mm-hmm. Remember what his saying was?
No.
Win, lose, we booze.
They booze anyhow.
Brady and Gronk did, yeah.
No. Brady, that's what they say about Brady. That Brady came in and destroyed that culture of basically as soon as every game that they lost, there was a whole bunch of people said, this guy yells at us for like 20 minutes every time we lose.
Oh, really?
We wanted to go drink.
Well, you remember how sauced he was on the celebratory
Yes.
cruise there,
Yeah.
so he made up for it. But
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's move to business.
Yeah, let's move to business.
Time.
So let's start with the fun thing about my dark theme and dark mode and dark web.
Dark web.
So dark mode is a different thing than dark theme. Theme means more of how the UX looks like. Producer Dave, I still need you for 1 second. I need you to look for me for one thing on the internet. It's called "It's Not About the Nail." The idea is this lady talks to her boyfriend and complains, and she says, "Look, I feel stressed, and you keep trying to fix things." And she says, "It's not about this, it's not about that, and just I need you to just listen." And there's like a nail sticking from the middle of her forehead.
It's just, there's all this pressure, you know? And sometimes it feels like it's right up on me. And I can just feel it, like literally feel it in my head. And it's relentless. And
Well, you do have a nail in your head.
it is not about the nail.
Are you sure? Because, I mean, I'll bet if we got that out of there.
Stop trying to fix it.
So this is so my theme about, first it was really important for me to teach Ron about this in dating.
Right.
That this is an important thing.
Just listen.
Just listen.
Don't go fix stuff. All she wants is for you to listen. She doesn't care about the nail.
Yes, but it's still, when you're
I don't think I'm like that. But
You're not like that, but
I'm
you're not
unique
like
in that.
not like that. But
I don't want you to listen. I know you wouldn't. So
Yes. Well, I actually have emotional depth somewhere, anywhere.
Okay. To the point.
To the point. The reason I put this in place about that it's not about the nail is to discuss really that it's not about dark theme when I'm going to talk about dark theme. So short version, I was challenged by some of my leadership of how come one of the products that I own does not have dark theme. For people that don't know what dark theme is, I'm expecting this is people.
White background, black background. Let's make it simple.
Yes. Why is the dark background so important? It's really, really, really important because when you sit in bed and you do stuff and you get prompted with a light theme contracting a dark theme, it basically flashes light in dark rooms. It is annoying if you're working on flights, if you're working in later at night. There are people that have light sensitivity. There's a million reasons for why dark theme is an important aspect of.
I thought it was a millennial thing.
No,
That only millennials like the dark background.
I
prefer dashboards on white background.
know. By the way,
But I'm okay with the nail, so I don't know. Okay.
So the light theme. So this is an important thing. If you are talking about compliance, if you're a startup, and you need to pick one color, dark or light, light is more important mainly because the fact that if you need to be 508 compliant and deal with high contrast and things like that, light theme makes a lot of things a lot easier. More people with higher numbers in glasses, people with high numbers in glasses will always prefer the light thing.
Yeah, that's me.
I know. Also, blue eyes people like you develop cataract at a much younger age because of this. So just as a reference. But the main thing is AI now makes dark theme, light theme. So when we were building Ort and I needed to pick one, I picked the light theme. That was way before this decision because we didn't have staffing to deal with testing and development, and it doubled the testing codes and when we joined Cisco, the first thing I told Nico to do is build dark theme. He built it like in 3 days or 2 days, and that was pre-AI. I called him just to have this discussion today, and he says now it's not even a conversation. Right now, when you build a new product, you basically build stuff with one design, and you tell the AI, build all the other design. The light theme, this thing, the AI builds and tests and does all these things. You create the original design. AI basically builds the whole other stuff for you.
Okay, so back to the story.
So
you ask the team, there is one product that doesn't have both themes. It only had light theme.
Yes, and they came back with an estimate of tens of weeks, months. And I told them, guys, this is like a problem. It's a real problem. First, we look stupid because if I am an executive, I will say the same thing that Nico told me. Hey, right now, new things that gets built, light theme, dark theme, but builds it automatically.
I mean, in 10 weeks, people built a full product these days.
Dennis built a whole company with the shipping product with 2 customers in less than 10 weeks.
Yeah.
So it gives you a sense that you can build a lot today with AI, but it is true that if you need to test for hundreds of thousands of customers and you need to deploy and you need to there is complications. But I decided to take this as an exercise to see what's the big deal. Let me build it with AI and let's see what happens. And let's see what are the limitations of building dark theme. But as I said about the nail, and this is why it's important, it's not about the nail and it's not about dark theme. It's about what are the things that are slowing down our development process that is making us not able to deliver stuff when I remove coding as the rate limit part of everything. And this is the things that people don't want to talk about. What are the real rate limits? So problem number 1 of everything is you have a slight fear of the unknown. And by the way, a slight fear of the VP, which is also a problem because not everybody's willing to tell you that you're just stupid and wrong. And sometimes you're stupid and wrong, and people need to tell you that you're stupid and wrong. Second, there's what happens a lot of time is we don't have certainty in what our code does. And this is an important element of this, that to make changes in a world of uncertainty, you need to have confidence that you can make those changes. Yana recently released a LinkedIn post, which she never does. And one of the things she was talking about is the fact that she and parts of the team built a whole cascade of evolution of how to create detections in our system that can come directly from a threat researcher. A threat researcher today doesn't need engineering anymore to build a detection in our tool. Or a compliance person doesn't need anything. They just need GitHub access. You can get fully automated tests end to end. Basically, it creates everything. It creates the UI, the explainability. It creates everything end to end without an engineer touching it.
That's cool.
It's very, very cool. But to do this, you needed a robust infrastructure of testing. You needed to create what is called a sandbox, because it allowed to basically kick off a sandbox that the bot tests against in the cloud, runs the data in, runs the data out, does a lot of the processing stuff. It basically has a lot of guardrails in place that allow you to release even code, because the AI doesn't generate real efficient code the same way. But our goal was, let's see if it runs. Let's see if anybody cares. If nobody cares, we'll take it down. If people care about this, we'll fix it. Let's first see if anybody cares, anybody deploys, anybody turns it on, if it's valuable. Because you can decide if you want to use it or not. But for that, you needed a whole infrastructure of things that can happen automatically and be resilient to this element. My dark theme experiment is something that, by the way, I introduced a real problem when I did this. Because apparently, one of the things that I wanted to do is to test, is dark theme turned on this machine? And to do this, you run a JavaScript line that says, hey, is there dark theme on this machine? But this is the fun thing. Apparently, JavaScript that runs on IE 11 blows up when you run this piece of code, because IE 11 was never designed for a machine that runs this.
Okay.
For you Windows lovers. But the idea is that if something is deployed in so many places, you need to have a very...
Who is using IE? Like, everybody's on Chrome.
So people that love a certain product are annoying Luddites that keep telling me that text messages is secured, that tell me that they want support on OSs that you will never believe that it still exist, on phones. But every time I want to take down a version of, like, I don't want to support Pixel 2 anymore.
You have people using it.
I have people using the original Pixel, not in my development base, but in our customer base. I have people that still...
iPhone 1.
There's probably a Nokia 3220 somewhere receiving text messages, and somebody says, why can't I install this on this? Not shitting you. So this is the reality, that when you have a product that's wildly successful, people...
Okay, so the people with Internet Explorer will not get dark theme.
But I blow them up, because the code that tests it doesn't run there, so it blows up.
Okay.
So this is like where things become really, really a good question of, how do you build code in a way that you can limit the population in which you try things. So for example, there's what is called the fullness of the feature. Right now, for us to support light theme, you allow people to bring their own logos. And sometimes the logos are not ready for light theme or dark theme. Sometimes you have icons. Not all icons are ready for this. Sometimes you want to be able to support customization. So the company brings their own theme. There's a million of these reasons. Now, you can say, I don't want to test all these things. How about I test just the page that shows up the most and presents the three most common use cases, and just test this one. Mm-hmm. But you need to be in a mindset that it's okay to do this. And sometimes, and this is a big problem for a lot of organizations, is that we are resistant inherently in knowing what's actually the minimal viable when we talk about minimal viable product. So we need to be able to create that muscle again, to create minimal stuff. And understand that this is not vibe coding, because vibe coding is me building some cool things in my own environment. In a real environment that I'm building software for, I'm expecting people to put in rules. So I had this fun conversation with Anton when Anton and I were on our last walk. Anton basically said, look, I don't want to say the same thing twice. Because if you look at code reviews, you'll see code reviews basically say the same thing 5 times. But what you want to be able to say is, and you do, I hear you do the same thing when you review stuff from your team. You want the agent to be able to say, I do this one time, now have a skill, and from this point on,
Learn what I'm telling you to do.
every time I tell you to do something, don't go in path A, because sometimes you have like 15 paths. So to do something, you tell, just go in path A, don't go in path B, C, D.
Right.
Because we already know that this is the way.
But I think the interesting thing you're talking about here is basically the big difference of large companies with, huge install base, tons of variation that really makes it a problem to deploy, things that are half cooked, or what you're talking about, like what's MVP for you. Because if you're a startup, your ideal customer is a narrow group of people, and you may say it's only people using those OSs. That's my first kind of batch of releases. And you have a complete different problem that you do need to serve your entire customer base. Or you decide, okay, it's like 90% are using Chrome, and I'm not going to deliver that for now. You have the problem of crashing it in Internet Explorer. Maybe you need to ask first, what's the preferred browser, and then don't even run the script. So I think what you're having here is more kind of this mindset, which is hard in an organization like yours, of the scare of, you were talking about the scare of the VP, the scare of pissing off a small subset of customers. Maybe they're vocal, maybe, but it is a true thing. Like, you need to justify tens of thousands of users, if not hundreds or millions of users that you have. And it is hard. It's a hard problem, which I guess slows down this idea of an MVP, unless you say, yes, I don't give an F about this population of customers. We start with that. So I think that's like what I hear, because like being in the other side of startups, we're making those decisions every day. I feel like as a startup, you have less of a burden of, oh no, those customers will churn. Oh no, what they will say. Like, okay, they will not be interested. We're not going to win them from the get-go. We'll not go after them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go after federal audience because XYZ, I don't have those capabilities. Forget about that. I'm not going to go after some markets, data residency. We already talked about it in the past. And so it's at the end of the day, it's not a coding thing. It's a business decision. And that's why you, the VP, probably is the one to say it, because the org doesn't know, and they have this mindset of, we have all those OSs, all those things. Let's make a decision.
I think the main thing we need to ask ourselves is, what can I do to make release faster?
Make business decisions first.
Make business decisions
first.
But a lot of times you need to invest right now in infrastructure before you build the features. I'll explain.
What we're talking about, the sandboxing and stuff. Okay.
Yes, you need you need to build the capability to test.
Test AI-driven stuff that was built fast.
That was built
in a fast and furious way.
Exactly. The other thing is, AI is better. One of the biggest problems is that we've invested heavily in QA. QA, what will happen? So one of the developers said, before we released the last segment, she basically said, can you test a couple of things? And I said, look, I'm not the best QA. She said, try to break it. And I said, I'm not a QA person. We should have an automated thing that runs this in all the scenarios.
Yeah, I should break it.
Exactly. AI should break this. It shouldn't be a person clicking on these things. If we get in, it started with CDO. With CDO, Dennis and I hate QA people. It's a joke because Sean and Joe, if they listen to this, they came from QA. So we make fun of the fact that we hate QA people because we like to make their lives miserable. So when we built CDO, we said we're not bringing in QA. Everything, if you write the code, you write the tests. You write all the test scenarios, and you build a scenario that you can test everything end to end. And it allows us to move a lot faster.
Because there is no QA queue. I mean, you build, test, ship.
Yes, exactly. And one of the things that needs to happen, and by the way, the other thing is that every time, we also put in our culture that every time a customer found a defect, that goes into the regression tests. It means that somebody uses this in this way. So you have to test it in the regression tests.
Okay.
And because of that, we built like a complete pipeline of things that are 100% automated. And when you build a pipeline that's 100% automated, you're okay introducing things faster because the testing happens not by a person clicking on things. Now it goes back to other parts of my product and other products that I own, which are more mature and have an impact on, like, if I have a product that, if I have a real problem with this authentication at this point in time and half a hospital goes down, I need to be more careful.
Sure.
If
Again, business decision.
business decisions. And so a lot of these things need to come down to where are we willing to tolerate more errors for the sake of velocity. But we also need to understand right now the market is demanding velocity. No matter what we do, we need to understand that. I'll give you the example of how things have changed in my lifetime. When I used to build assembly code on mainframe and it shipped in a very specific way, the level of tolerance for errors was almost non-existent. But also there were a lot fewer developers. Most of them were a lot better than the average developer today. And the code that was generated was at a very, very high level.
Well, you shipped a cassette.
You were
a
very,
disc, so
you were
like,
very, very careful what you shipped. It also took a very long time for it to be implemented.
it's like a consumer good. It's like it's in a box.
It's a very different experience, and the mistake you made, like, could impact you 5 years from now.
Yeah. Okay.
When we went into shipping hardware and shipping things like that, again, you needed to have a lot more diligence, and there were a lot more tooling and a lot more testing. Because think of making a mistake in something you put in the shuttle. You have a problem now. Now, as soon as you move to cloud, now the tolerance became a lot higher. You're willing to take a lot more mistakes because
you can fix them fast.
Exactly. I think Brian said something really cool about the fact that it's okay to not deliver something to a customer as long as you can fix it before they get to complain, before they notice it, or before they get to complain about this, or before the ticket takes longer than the time it takes you to fix it.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a little bit of the mindset that a lot of us need to get to, of in a world with AI, if we can fix things fast, if we can reduce our deployment time, reduce our release time, then we can do things in a much more flexible way. So that's kind of where my mind's at about this is not about the nail and it's not about dark theme. It's about how do you build software in the world of AI in a way that you can make those decisions of where is critical, where is not critical, where do you think that the thing that is slowing you down is development time, and where do you think that the thing that is slowing you down is that the infrastructure is not ready?
Makes sense.
Yes.
Good.
Cool. So it's not about the nail.
It's not about the nail. With that, let's finish for today. The DiDi and Lital Show is a weekly podcast. Please share episodes with your friends. Maybe they learn something new. If you like our show, also please rate us with 5 stars. We love it. We'll see you next week.
See you next
Have
week.
a good
Bye.
one. Bye.